On this episode of UTR, we explore the 4 seasons of our great state, and we do it all with the help of Pure Michigan's own main man, Dave Lorenz. Whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall, we'll show you why both peninsulas have everything you need for 365 days of fun a year right here. So get ready to explore the 4 awesome seasons that make Michigan a great place to play.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885. A visit to the Stalls Automotive Museum will take you back to a time when cars were more than just a way to get around. In addition to beautiful cars, enjoy the collection of gas pumps, road signs, oil cans, and other car-related accessories. Info at stallsauto.com.
Now, I know what you're thinking. There's that guy that knows everything there is to know about Michigan. Well, guess what? I know a guy who knows even more.
The man of whom I speak is the one and only Dave Lorenz. He's the humble head of Pure Michigan, and as busy as he is, we still managed to corral him for a 4-season tour of our great state.
Because of the show that I do, I thought I knew everything there was to know about Michigan. And then you come along, and oh my gosh, you are everywhere.
Well, it's the best thing about the job, as I get to see a lot of things in Michigan and talk to a lot of people, get to know people both in the industry and just all of our travelers. It is the very best thing about the job.
I actually follow you on social media, and I get dizzy. I mean, because you're literally everywhere, promoting businesses, tourism, meeting cool people. It's incredible.
Well, tourism is a very big part of the kind of the economic package in Michigan, manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. And if we're not supporting all of them, we're not doing everything we should for the people of Michigan. So tourism is important. We need to encourage people to get out there and travel and spend some time with their friends and family and spend a lot of money while they're doing that as well.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Why do you think, other than this, Michigan is such a magical summer place?
Well, you actually have to go back to what Michigan is year-round, and that is because we are a real 4-season destination. And I think that's one of the things that really fascinates people is we're not just a summer place. We're not just a winter place. We're a place that offers something for everybody, everything but sharks and salt water. And it's true.
That's okay with me.
Yeah, it's true though. You know, we have such diversity of locations and destinations and attractions. And friendly people everywhere that are welcoming people to their communities even for a short time.
And I think a lot of us take it for granted because we live here or grew up here. But when you look around the resort towns and you see the license plates from different states and how far they come, then you realize, okay, I live in a cool place.
Well, and you know, at summertime, I know some of our towns get a little overwhelmed by traffic from out of state and such, but it is important to the economy. But more importantly, it's because of those travelers that the local communities are able to build up their infrastructure and their attractions so that local people can enjoy them too. So, you know, we take a little bit of a challenge and we all benefit from that year-round.
Yeah, and I just get a kick out of living in a place where other people want to come to.
Well, it's true. You know, when I grew up in Michigan so many years ago, which I did in West Michigan, you know, I think a lot of people had lost faith in what Michigan is and what we believe Michigan used to be. I think what travel and tourism has done, and I think what the Pure Michigan brand has done, it's reminded people that this state is special, and this state really does offer so much for so many people. And I think if there's one thing I'm most proud of about the Pure Michigan brand is it's reminded people that we have a lot to be proud about here.
But speaking of summer, because here we are in the middle of summer, what are some things or one thing maybe that people might want to drop in their Michigan summer bucket list?
Well, of course, people always think about the lakes. You know, you look behind me and you see why. But Michigan offers more than just 4 of the 5 Great Lakes that Michigan touches on. We have 11,000 inland lakes. So there's water everywhere where you're never more than 5 miles away from a major lake or stream or river. I would probably say if there's one specific place that maybe people aren't aware of that they should really check out, I'd probably have to say Kitch-iti-kipi, the big spring up in the Upper Peninsula, near the Garden Peninsula where Fayette Historic Park is as well. That's a really magical area. Hard to describe Kitch-iti-kipi.
And hard to spell.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's why I just say the big spring, a little bit easier. But it is a beautiful place. I know you've been there.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it because, yes, we have been there, and I think we should go back right now.
Good idea.
You know, in Florida, they got a natural spring called Weeki Wachee. It's pretty cool. But up in Michigan's UP, we've got a spring with an even cooler name. It's called Kitch-iti-kipi. Pretty cool. The Kitch-iti-kipi Spring is located just a few miles west of Manistee in the Palms Book State Park. And when it comes to Michigan's natural wonders, I wonder why it took me so long to visit this one. The spring is a surreal experience that will totally amaze you. And the best part is, you just hop onto a self-propelled open-bottom ferry, crank yourself out to the middle, and watch the wonders of the spring. And lucky for me, Park Officer Pat Nelson came along to make sure I actually learned something.
Pat, the first thing I gotta ask you is, how does the water stay so clear?
Well, you have 10,000 gallons a minute that comes up through the bottom. And that's crystal clear water, and that's constant movement. And that's why you get the rolling sand on the bottom.
How far down to the bottom?
It's 45 feet deep.
45 feet. The fish are huge. What are those?
The really large ones are lake trout. You can see there's lots of little ones on the bottom.
Those are food.
Those are food, yes. And so in these trout we will feed too in the morning. We throw some feed in there.
So what's the temperature of the water?
45 degrees, consistently.
Year-round?
Year-round. This will not freeze over. Although I have been out here once where there was a little crust of ice over the top, but it will not freeze over solid.
What do you think this spring and this park means to the state of Michigan?
I think everybody takes something a little special away with them when they come out here.
Yeah, I knew it would be cool, but I had no idea it would be this. It's just awesome. Look at that one fish is just sitting on the bottom. Is he just tired?
Just hanging out.
Just hanging. Hey, dude, what's happening?
The Kitch-iti-kipi Spring is the kind of place that's so cool, the second you get home, you tell everybody you know about it. So don't worry if you can't say it right, just make sure you get up here to see it. It's a real UP treasure.
So Dave, now that all my tan lines have faded and summer's gone,
Yeah.
I think fall might be my favorite season.
I understand that. You know, that's the cool thing about Michigan. We have these 4 very distinctively different seasons. Yeah. A lot of people, of course, are summer people, and you understand that. But I'm kind of with you. I love fall. There's so many things you can do at this time of the year, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, I know people who actually moved away from Michigan and came back because they missed the season so much.
Well, and this is becoming one of the more popular times for people to come for sightseeing. Sightseeing is like the most important thing for most travelers who come to Michigan. And if you think about it, we really do have a beautiful state in so many ways. So they come from far and wide just to drive around and look at the beautiful fall colors.
What's something that people might want to put in their personal pumpkin patch, just something to do in the fall in Michigan?
Well, one of the things that I always recommend people do is go to either farmers markets or like cider mills like this, you know, the beautiful cider that you can really enjoy all throughout Michigan.
And they're everywhere. I mean, there's one near your home, so you don't have to travel far to find it.
True, but actually what I like to recommend people kind of go out and enjoy the experience of just kind of driving around and finding new places as well, because they're all over the state of Michigan, and you're going to find some real fun experiences out there.
Well, speaking of finding a cider mill, we found one very recently that we had a lot of fun at.
Now they say an apple a day makes the UTR guys get out and play. So we headed south to St. John for exactly that.
Hey, how'd you like to see a cider mill that's so big you can see it from space? Thought you'd never ask.
Behold Uncle John's Cider Mill, a colossal place that's so full of fruit and fun, you just might want to move in. If you're looking for a classic family fall activity and edibles, everything you need for an awesome autumn is right here. Now, to make sure we left no apple unturned, I met up with Mike Beck. He's a 5th-generation family farmer who helps keep Uncle John's jumping.
Have you checked the Guinness Book of World Records? whether or not this is the largest cider mill on the planet.
It is not. I'm sure it isn't.
It's huge, though. How many
pretty big.
How many apples you grow here?
Well, we have like 35 different varieties. Some of them you'd never see. We use exclusively for cider or hard cider. But all the typical ones that you're familiar with as far as apples, you know, the Yellow Delicious, Galas, Honeycrisp, and Macintosh, and things like that.
I read somewhere that you are 5th generation to be growing on this property?
Correct, 5th generation, yes.
And I have to tell you, I'm so envious of you because you live right behind us, right here on the grounds. So your commute is like, and I'm there.
And that's correct, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
This is a great family place. You look around and you see, this is almost a vacation destination.
Yes, we've done a lot of things to try and keep people here for a full day at least. We have lots of kids' activities. We have lots of adult activities.
Yes, I'm holding one.
That's right. And so, you know, several barns that you can do shopping in, and so lots of different places to explore and have fun here.
What is that big orange thing the kids are jumping on? That is so awesome. I want one in my yard.
That's the jumping pillow. That's open. At least when we're open, kids can enjoy time on that, or adults.
It's probably a good thing to do if you're an adult before the hard cider.
That's right.
Right. And your corn maze is outstanding.
Yeah, about a 12-acre corn maze, but it's not terribly difficult, at least.
Thank gosh. Yeah, because I plan on going in there later. Any tips on how to find my way out?
Just look for the edge of the field and just walk. You'll get there eventually.
Anything I shouldn't do before I do the corn maze?
Well, don't do too many shots of vodka.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in the mood for some down-on-the-farm fun and food, heck, you may as well have a lot of it, and Uncle John's is the place to find it. Now, back to that corn maze thing.
Corn maze? This will be easy. Oh, boy.
Now, I can't remember how or if I even got myself out of there, but if you want to make some classic Michigan fall family memories, take them to Uncle John's Cider Mill. I promise, you'll be amazed.
Hello? Hello? Now, last time I was in Holland for Tulip Time, they actually dubbed me Vander Tom. So I'm assuming you're Vander Dave?
That'll work.
What is spring like at the Vander Dave house?
Well, it's I'm not there very often, so I don't know. But, you know, the nice thing is that I get to go around the state and I see all these really cool events. A lot of agriculture type events this time of year. So, you know, flowers and cherries are starting to bloom, and all that stuff will come to play later on in the summer and fall when we start the harvest, and then we'll even have more festivals.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do in the spring is, well, there's Flower Day at Easter Market.
Yeah.
I go to Belle Isle just to watch things popping through. But tourism is huge in Michigan in the spring, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. And it's a great time to get outside and do things like hiking in the trails.
Yeah.
And of course in West Michigan, that's very popular through the sand dune type trails. In the middle of the state, you can see millions of acres of forest and do that as well. Get the bikes out, do street biking, or maybe taking mountain bikes out through the areas. So it's time to fill your lungs with fresh air.
Yeah, and you have a personal favorite place you like to go in the spring, or thing you like to do?
There are so many. I think Holland is a good place.
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you never saw our episode where we featured Tulip Time in Holland, Michigan, it's actually pretty cool. And why don't we go back there right now? And I think a great way to do that is to, now Dave, if you can do this with me.
Okay.
Just tap the heels of your wooden shoes together and repeat after me. There's no place like Tulip Time. There's no place like Tulip Time. There's no place like Tulip Time. This worked last time. There we go.
Now here's a festival that's totally flower powered, and people come from all over the world to see it. But I didn't have to drive too far because, well, I live in Michigan. Bonus.
Every spring, thousands of people travel from near and far to Holland, Michigan for one of the most colorful festivals of them all, Tulip Time. People from the Netherlands settled this town, so this week-long festival features more than just these pretty perennials. You'll also experience more Dutch tradition, dancing, and celebrating than you can shake a wooden shoe at. The day we were there featured the Volks Parade. It's the main people's parade of the festival, and it's made up of thousands of locals dressed in authentic Dutch costumes. But don't forget tradition. First things first. The town crier has to call out to the mayor and city council to inspect the streets and see if they're clean enough for the parade.
What do we think? Are they clean or dirty? Dirty! Hey, the public comment period was 5 minutes ago. Get it. Tem, would you care to make a motion for us?
Mayor, Strat, sign east. We need to call out the citizens. Scrub 'em.
We have heard the motion from the Mayor Pro Tem that the streets are feast. They must be cleaned, and we are to call out the citizens of Holland to clean the streets today before the parade so our guests have Dutch clean streets. Spread the word, Mr. Town Crier.
Hey! 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 The mayor says the streets are dirty and they must be scrubbed.
So you are the official town crier.
I am the official town crier, not just a guy in a funny suit having a big mouth. Because in order to be an official town crier, you must be a member of the Town Crier Guild.
Are you from the Netherlands?
I was born and raised in the old country, and I still have 5 sisters and a brother living in the old country. You're talking to a genuine pioneer. Ah, you better believe it.
So what is the significance of the Tulip Festival?
Well, first of all, tulips in Dutch are like, you know...
Peanut butter and jelly?
That's what I meant, that's what I meant. But you're an American, so you think of those things.
Right. How many people come into town for the festival?
They expect sometimes 200, 300,000 people that come. And most of them come in coaches. Most of them plan way ahead. And then they see the various festivals and the tulips. And you can go, like, I think 6 miles through the city of Holland, don't pay a dime, and see the tulip lanes.
I didn't realize this really, truly is a Dutch community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My people from the Netherlands, they walk around. Oh, Huizinga, De Vries, Vandenberg, Vanderbeek. Oh man, they get tears in their eyes with all this Dutch that they see. Sadly to say, most people can't talk Dutch anymore.
Can you make me an honorary Dutchman?
It'll be an honor.
Oh, thank you.
I be hereby declared that you are an honorable Dutchman and you are now a member of the proud group. And I call you Mr. Vander Tam.
That's Vander wonderful. Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
Well, I guess it was time for Vander Tom to Vander don some real Dutch attire and hit the streets. After all, there's a lot of scrubbing to be done, yeah?
I want a broom like hers. Want to have a broom race? Ready, go. You win. Sweep that puddle, hurry. You think you got the camera. Oh, water, thank you. Thank you. You got a beer in there?
No, we don't have no beer.
It really is a wonderful experience to see this entire community come out and recreate time-honored Dutch traditions. Heck, even the governor stopped by to do his part as the parade commenced. In one afternoon, we saw more beautiful flowers, more Dutch dancers, and more friendly and happy people than we'd ever seen before. Tulip Time is a colorful, cultural experience that will have you clicking the heels of your wooden shoes together and saying, "There's no place like Michigan. There's no place like Michigan."
You know, I always say, Dave, if you're going to live in a state that has winter, you may as well live in one where there's lots of cool stuff to do, and we do.
Isn't that the truth? You know, especially up in the Upper Peninsula where we are today, there are so many cool things to do, and actually really cold things to do, too.
Yeah, you noticed I'm wearing everything I own. And talk about lake effect. I mean, Michigan is a snow machine.
Really is, and because of that, you know, we do have great snowmobiling. We have hundreds and hundreds of miles of groomed trails. The Upper Peninsula is truly the mecca for snowmobiling in the entire country. But then we have all these other cool things, you know, downhill skiing and cross country, sled dog racing, and then just the opportunity to be on a sled dog team, which is a lot of fun.
And talk about snow days. I mean, if you have a snow day with your kids in Michigan, there's so much stuff to do.
There is, and you know, a lot of times people in the lower part of the Lower Peninsula, they just don't think there's a lot of snow in the state because maybe they don't see it there. Well, the fact is, we almost always have great snow as you go farther north. And the great thing about that is the people in the northern part of the state and all around really know how to push that snow around too. So you can get to places and you can have a great deal of fun, especially at our tremendous resorts.
I was just going to mention the resorts, the festivals, the special events we have in the winter. They're countless.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, if you like to be outdoors with a lot of other people, you're right. You have all these festivals so you can really enjoy kind of community. You know, we're a 4-season state, so we like to get out there and enjoy the outdoor experiences and indoor experiences all times of the year. But if you're into that kind of being by yourself, there's ice fishing, and you can go out cross-country skiing or snowshoeing and just enjoy the environment as well.
Exactly. I have to ask you, Dave, what's your personal favorite wintertime activity?
Oh, man, there's so much to choose from. I like them all.
You know, it's funny you should say that because we went somewhere
that has almost every winter activity in one place, and one I didn't even know was here.
Yeah.
Take a look.
You know, some people consider themselves to be a winner, which is cool, that's fine. But you know me, I'm a loser. That's right, I'm a loser and proud of it. And why? Well, because luging is one of the most funnest things you can do in the winter. And believe it or not, you can do it right here in Michigan at the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex, a place where you don't have to be a winner to be a loser. Before I became an official loser, I spent a few minutes with the man that makes it all happen, Jim Rudisil.
I'm going to use a word I almost never use. I'm flabbergasted. When I saw this luge, are you sure we're not in Europe?
No, you're right here in Michigan.
How many luge tracks are there in Michigan, or in the country?
There are 4 tracks in the country, and we're lucky to have 2 in Michigan.
And this is the most publicly accessible?
It is. This track was designed specifically to introduce the sport of luge to the general public, and this is from 8 years old on up to 88 years old.
Tell me about this whole complex, though, 'cause this is incredible.
We're located in Muskegon State Park, right on the shore of Lake Michigan. We have a great partnership with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, the Parks and Rec Division, to operate this facility. We're operated as Muskegon Sports Council. We're a nonprofit, and we have this arrangement where all the fees collected here are reinvested into the improvement of the facility. So we have the sports of cross-country skiing, we have snowshoeing, ice skating, and luge.
Tell me about the ice skating trail. That's fantastic.
We have a quarter-mile figure-8 ice skating trail through the woods, which is growing in popularity every year. We have 2 acres of open outdoor ice skating space and room for both family skating and hockey, you know, pond hockey, the original true, form of hockey. And our cross-country ski trails, we have 5 miles of lighted trails, the longest lighted trail system in the Midwest.
So you can, at night you can actually.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And there are snowshoe trails. We have miles and miles of snowshoe trails that are marked. The Lake Michigan Snowshoe Trail, where you traverse the dunes here in the park. And we're real, there's something to do for everybody here.
What kind of people luge, and where do they come from?
They come from all over the Midwest. Actually, we've had people from all over the world come here and slide this track.
Well, describe the experience going down the track.
It's exhilarating. For the first time experience, everybody has always got that look of fear in their eyes at the top.
You're seeing it, aren't you?
Yeah, you see it, the tremble. But we work really hard on safety. This track is on a sand dune, not on a mountain. We don't send people down 90 miles an hour. That's the first thing people think in their mind is when they think of luge, 90 miles an hour,
Yeah, I've seen that on TV, the Olympics. I've seen the agony of defeat. I don't want
You've seen that. But we don't do that here. We send you down at 25 miles per hour, which your first time down will feel like 90. But here we really want to introduce the sport to people in a safe manner and a fun manner. But the great part is that look of fear at the top, the laughter and the happiness at the bottom.
Well, enough talking. Time for Tommy to become an official loser. And after a brief session on equipment, safety, and technique, it was time to grab a sled, head up the steps, and let gravity take care of the rest. And you know me, I went from idiot to expert in the blink of an eye.
This will be easy.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Mommy! Oh. Left. So, folks, if you want to be a winner this winter, try luging at the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex. Heck, once you try it, you'll be a loser like me. Only probably better.
Honestly, Dave, I'm honored and even a little touched that you took the time out of your busy schedule, because I know how insanely busy you are. But first of all, thanks for doing the job you're doing to help promote what we're doing here, what we have here.
This is the greatest pleasure in my career. It's a real honor to be able to do what I do. And besides, you're paying me extra money, right?
Jim?
Where's the cash? Come on.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885. A visit to the Stalls Automotive Museum will take you back to a time when cars were more than just a way to get around. In addition to beautiful cars, enjoy the collection of gas pumps, road signs, oil cans, and other car-related accessories. Info at stallsauto.com.